What's up, Rewatchers? It's Dustin here to let you know that this show may feature strong or inappropriate language, so please be mindful of who around you can hear it. Also, we assume that you've at least watched the show or the episode we will be discussing. If not, just be warned that there are spoilers ahead. But really, it's your fault because these shows have been out for a while. Enjoy.
It gets hard to sit comfortably for any length of time. It's like, oh, my hip hurts.
I mean, you kind of wonder, like, old Buffy, does she get, like, hurt hips after a while? Does it, like, does the magic wear off where she's, getting hurt easily?
I don't know. There's a reboot, though, right? Like,
yeah, and I'm wondering about it because the way it sounds like it's following those books I read. I don't know. I'm getting the feeling that they're following the books that I read, that they haven't brought that up. But if they do, it's a great idea because I was like, this is definitely made, like, this was written like the person really wanted this to be adapted.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is actually a really good idea. So
yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll watch it for sure.
Welcome back to the Rewatch Recap. I am Dustin, and this is where we recap shows for nostalgia or pure amusement. Back again with me is Kay from F My Work Life, maybe.
I was definitely a co-host of that podcast. Whether or not it's ever coming back, nobody knows.
Nobody knows but Jesus.
That's right.
Maybe not even that. We don't know. Anyway, so this week we're doing the Robots episode number 2, and we're doing me. We're not doing me. Excuse me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, it's my go on this one. So it's season 2, episode 11. Ted. Which I have not watched since forever. I think it's one of those ones that I happen to always kind of miss in my binges. I'll have it on and I'll maybe I'll either fall asleep or I'll walk out of the room and just forget.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I'm like, oh, whatever, I didn't miss anything. And it ends up being Ted. So it's one of those ones I don't ever get to see. So this was actually a really good rewatch for me to have it. So the main focus of this episode, I think, main character focus is Buffy. While the monster of the week is, of course, Ted, a.k.a. John Ritter.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's sad. But
Love him
and this
so
wasn't
much.
long before he died, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long because he was on the sitcom and not long after this. So anyway, so in this episode, there's I have a synopsis, but I try to do it as quickly as possible. So Buffy comes home, finds the door unlocked, and then she hears a scuffle, and she thinks her mom's in danger. So she runs into the kitchen. She finds her making out with this guy, and it's Ted. It's her new boyfriend that Buffy knew nothing about, but they're really serious. I'm like, what's going on, Joyce?
Yeah.
Like, what's your problem, girl? And he gives me this like really weird like mayor vibe. You know what I mean? Like, gosh, gee, golly, that kind of stuff. The way he talks. So it's
just
like,
a little too wholesome.
Just a little too much.
For
they're bad.
Adult man. Yeah.
They're bad. So, yeah. Anyway, so he quickly charms everyone. Everyone gets charmed. He cooks for them. Everybody loves it. Everybody except for Buffy, of course. She doesn't like him. He moved in too quickly with Mom. Mom's moving on too fast. She wants her dad. Wah, wah. We know this. Okay. The Ballad of the Divorced Kid.
Yeah.
So Joyce, she got a little bit too friendly early on with Ted, and she, she's telling Ted everything about Buffy's history and her grades. So like he feels like he can make like statements about her stuff,
Yeah.
And
not cool.
Yeah. And Joyce is like, I wish you would love him like I do. She's like, love him? She's like, I was like, girl, too early.
Like, I just met this dude.
Like, you really did. Oh man. Ugh. So, Buffy goes and investigates Ted at work, and, she finds out that the coworker tells her that Ted asked off for like 2 months in advance for his wedding. She's like, what? And then there's a picture of her, like, of Joyce on its desk, but it's actually a picture of her and Joyce, but her picture's folded behind it. Ooh. Oh, and it doesn't help that, like, Ted has this like stakeout in Buffy's room after Joyce gets mad at her and sends her to her room, and she sneaks out to go patrolling, and Ted comes back. He's like, no. Then they have like this whole like thing. He's like, what is a vampire slayer? Like looking at her diary, and they get into a whole fight, and she tries to get the diary back, and then they get to a scuffle, and of course Joyce only sees Buffy hitting Ted and not the other way around.
Right.
And Ted falls down the stairs and he's presumed dead. The police want to talk to Buffy, and of course no one's going to believe she got hit by this guy because she's not bruised.
Right.
It's like, oh man, that's the sucky part about being a superhero. You don't bruise. So it's definitely suspicious. Yeah, she doesn't know at this point that it's a robot, right? So how does the gang figure out everything and take them down? So Willow figures out that Ted's cooking has been keeping the worry and suspiciousness of Ted at bay with like a tranquilizing agent in the cookies, because Xander was all, what's going on? He eats a cookie and suddenly he's like, we shouldn't worry about things. Blah, 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 blah. Buffy is the only one who never ate any of his cooking. So of course she's really not falling victim to this con.
So do you think it was in all of his food?
I think it was, and everything.
That's why everyone was just like,
everything tasted so good,
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. So Willow, Xander, and Cordelia find Ted's workshop, and they figure out that he's a robot that's been around since the 50s with 4 marriages and no divorces. Yeah, because Xander found the bodies of the wives.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ted's pronounced dead, but he comes back. He attacks Buffy in her bedroom. She stabs him in the arm with a nail file and reveals like he's got a robot thing going on underneath the skin, and he knocks her out. He goes downstairs and freaks the fuck out of Joyce with his glitching and abusive control freak problems. And like, he goes, let's get on the road. You'll like the house. I have your clothes. They're always your size. And
and he's
let's
like,
do this. Yeah. So Ted knocks Joyce out before Buffy shows up and kicks his ass with an iron skillet. And poor Joyce, she's getting back in that dating pool is traumatizing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my brief synopsis of the main events of Ted. I think that was a good brief cap. I don't know.
Yeah, it was better than mine. It was like, I don't know, there was a thing and some shit happened.
Some shit happened and bad stuff went down. So, okay, so there is a sub-story, though. There's actually 2. There's a brief one and a longer one. So the brief one is Cordy and Xander had kissed prior to this episode, and now they're trying to keep it secret. But Xander almost blew it because he gave her a compliment in front of Willow and Buffy, and she's like, what are you doing? Oh my God.
Don't do it!
And then the other one is Jenny and Rupert are on the outs after Giles' past showed up in the form of the demon that possessed her like a few episodes back.
Okay.
And so he keeps showing up with like flimsy excuses, and she's all like, give me space. And later on, she tracks him down at the cemetery. She's like, okay, I'm sorry. And she's trying to apologize, but then, of course, they have to fight off a vampire.
Yeah.
And then Jenny shoots Giles in the ass with the freaking crossbow.
Yeah.
He pulls it out of his ass, like stabs his vampire with it anyway, and kills him. Like, good for you. And so they leave for the hospital. They're laughing, and it's a joy. And at the end of the ep, the gang catches them making out in the library.
Yeah.
And of course, Buffy's grossed out from her surrogate parent being with somebody else.
Everyone's just making out.
Everybody but Buffy. Sorry, Buffy. Sorry. Can't
Angel's briefly in this episode too, right?
I don't think, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, because she was complaining about Ted to Angel. But he's like, oh, deal with it, whatever. That's basically what he was.
Life is hard. I'm a vampire.
Life is hard. And then you don't die because I'm 200-something years old. Yeah. Okay. So our funniest moments in the episode. What's one of your funniest moments?
So similar to your last episode, I think one of the funniest moments is Buffy's depression overalls that she wears when she goes back to school, like the day after she kills Ted, and she's like, because she's always dressed very nice, and now she's in her sad depression overalls.
She does wear those every single time, like, things aren't going right in my life. I guess gotta put on these overalls.
Yeah.
Oh, sad overalls. We need a sad overall song. Maybe that is the sad overall song.
That's
There we go.
You just wrote it. We need a sad overall song.
Oh, okay. So my other one was like, she's talking about Ted, and she was like, "There's something a little too clean about this clown." And Willow goes, "He's a clean clown." She's like, "I have my own fun."
The things that tickle Willow are just so sweet.
That was totally a Dustin line. That was like, that's me. I would say something like that. I have my own fun.
Clean clown.
He's
I
a
have
clean
my own
clown.
fun.
Oh, I love
She's
it.
so
You have another one?
cute. My other one is just the reveal that he was basically putting an ecstasy-like drug in all the food that was making people just euphoric and happy.
We love Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got a few things here. I wrote a lot. So there's this one where like Xander and Cordelia are arguing about whether or not how they keep the secret, whatever. Xander goes, "Whatever. Do you want to go to the utility closet and make out?" And she goes, "God, is that all you ever think about?" Okay.
Yeah, she gave in real quick. And it just
Okay.
made me think of my so-called life when they go to the broiler room.
Yeah. Okay. And the other one's after Jenny shot Giles with the arrow. Giles says, "I think I'm all right." And Jenny says, "You're just in shock." And Giles says, "No, really. I don't think you went in too deep. The advantages of layers of tweed. Better than Kevlar.
Oh, he said better than Kevlar.
Better than Kevlar."
I thought he said also Kevlar. Okay. Got it. That makes
So,
more sense.
I got a few Ted lines too. "You're going to find hell of a day. It makes you feel like you're 18 again. That I don't like being disobeyed." When he's
I liked his
glitching.
little, I liked his little,
Hell of a day.
his little mean quips where he's like, "I'll smack your little face," or whatever he said, something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
so-
And you're
yeah.
like, dang.
Yeah, no. And there's another one. He goes, "Don't I always tell," he's telling this to Joyce, "Don't I always tell you what to do? I'm going to make things right. Then you and I, want a little gravy with that, can go away where there will be no both of us around." Finish it. "Want a little gravy with that?"
A little gravy with that. Joyce is just like, what's happening?
Lordy. Okay, so what's your scariest moment of the episode?
Well, I had one written down, but one came up while we were talking, and it's just how scary it is that not a single person in the medical profession realized that this guy was a robot and not human when he died.
What happened to the autopsy?
Right? So that's a little scary for the doctors and medical staff of Sunny.
Yep, sure looks dead. I guess that's it. No need. He fell down the stairs, got hurt.
Yeah.
We don't need to look at anything.
Yep.
Not suspicious at all.
No.
So yeah. Oh, mine is the thing you just laughed at, but I thought it kind of scared me a little bit because like he, when he gets mean to Buffy, it says, "Do you want me to slap that smart ass mouth of yours?" And it's like, dang. Yeah. But the one thing I started thinking about later was like when she's like, she tells somebody, "He said he would slap my face." I'm like, no. That's not what he said. He said your smart ass mouth.
Your smart ass mouth.
Be the smart ass.
Yeah. I also thought it just like a little kind of jump scare moment when she realized her window was nailed in and she was like trying to open it, and then he just appears behind her when you think he's a dead dude. And you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Vampire? What is this guy?
Yeah. Okay, so your best character for this episode, why?
I loved Cordelia for just being shallow and vapid and her true Cordelia self. Even though she was a very small part of this episode, she just always shines.
She was up there for me, but I had to go with somebody else. I went with Willow for being the most supportive of Buffy's friends. And she was like, "Yeah, I'll believe you. Yes, I will believe. If you say it, then I'll believe you." Right?
Yeah.
And then she also got to keep some of those robotic parts, which helps me believe later on that she could repair Buffy bot because she's already kind of dealt with it. Yeah. But then I thought they should have tied this into like Warren, and like maybe he found like Ted's workshop or something like that. That's how he started creating androids or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, just an idea.
Yeah.
Could have been time. It could have been like Ted's son. You could have found
Ted's robot son.
Well, no, because it was the real Ted, and then he made a robot version of himself that we found out when he was dying.
Oh,
And
really?
so the
We
robot,
found that out?
yeah.
Where was I when that happened?
It was when I think it was like in the when they went down to the workshop and they found this like, oh, he found like it was this old guy, he created the robot version of himself because he was dying, I think, and he wanted to keep his wife company. And then after the wife died, then the other Ted kept getting other wives that were like her.
Oh my God. Where the hell
Yeah.
was I when that happened? Did I fall asleep or zone out? I don't remember that at all.
It's a little blink and you miss it, but it's there, I promise.
Okay. All right. So there was an original Ted. Got it.
Yeah.
Ooh, so Jason Ritter should come back and
You
play
be Ted Jr.
Ted Jr. Robot Ted Jr.
Teddy. I'm Teddy.
Ted 2.0.
Who is the worst character in this episode, but not the monster?
I'm gonna have to go with Joyce, because even though she was eating drug-laced food, she was ignoring every single red flag this controlling MFer was throwing at her.
And you know what? You should believe your kid, too. Your kid doesn't like them. There's a reason. If it were just like everybody she didn't like, that'd be one thing. But you never, I really don't like this guy. I'm telling you, I don't like him. There's something about him I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You should listen to your kid,
Yeah. And even if you're just like, okay, she's a teenager, she's upset that I'm dating, don't just completely brush her off and be like, you gotta love this guy. Just like at least pretend to hear her out.
And maybe don't bring him around so much. Like, let her get used to this idea at least. My God.
And discipline her and immediately act like her father. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, he's
Weird.
asking about her grades and like, you gonna bring those grades up? Like,
yeah,
what?
Just weird.
Who the hell are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't take orders from women. I'm not wired that way.
Yeah.
So mine was Xander.
Okay.
For not sticking by his friends.
Right.
He kept allowing himself to be lured in by the cookies and the toxic masculinity of Ted.
Yeah.
And Xander breeds that shit. So
yeah, that's classic Xander.
And so he's like, yeah, why? Ted's awesome. What are you talking about? Like, and Willow was eating the cookies too, but she still was like, yeah, I'll believe you. I don't want to believe you, but I'll believe you. Right?
Yeah. Like you could tell she liked Ted, but she wasn't like, screw you, Buffy. Like you're being crazy. She's like, no, Ted seems cool, but I trust your instincts. So yeah.
True that. We love a good friend.
That's right.
And especially in the Buffy world.
Yeah.
You love them. You got to have them.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Time to give our stakes out from 0 to 5. 5 being the best, of course. How many stakes would you give this episode, Kay?
I gave it 2.
Oh.
And honestly, those 2 are only for John Ritter.
Wow.
I just thought it was super cheesy. I don't know. There's just something that doesn't sit right with me. Like, there's just too much, like, dee. I don't know. It just...
Well, I mean, it was, 97, 98? Something like that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, 2, R.I.P. John Ritter.
I gave mine a little bit more than that. I gave it 3.5 stakes.
Ooh.
Yeah. A little better than the other one, I thought, as far as storyline and how it was done. And the whole, like, gaslighting of, like, Buffy kind of, everybody's like, he's great. What are you talking about? What's wrong with you? Like, and like, the whole paranoid thing. And then it's the first time we see a robot on the show. Like a robot, like an android, humanoid.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great. I thought it was great that it was John Ritter because that was the first time they had a big star, like, guesting on the show,
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. I was like, oh, it was cool. It was cool at the time. I was like, oh, John Ritter, this is going to bring some credibility. My mom will appreciate this. It's
Mom,
exactly what I thought.
Buffy now?
Yeah. Hey, do you like it now? John Ritter likes it. He's on it. See, but.
Did she end up watching it?
Oh yeah, she liked Buffy. She always liked
good.
Buffy. Yeah.
Good.
She liked Ninja Turtles. She never liked Power Rangers. She was like, because, Buffy couldn't help it that she was a Slayer. And the Ninja Turtles couldn't help it they were Ninja Turtles. But the Power Rangers, they didn't have to become Power Rangers.
They chose that life.
They chose that life. No, she was like, she was like, I like them because that's just who they were. And I was like, okay, not because they were given something,
Makes sense.
That's how she liked it. It was funny. But anyway, all that aside, come back next week. We're going to have another 2 episodes. We're going to be doing, oh my gosh. We'll just give you a little hint. It's basically characters that aren't acting themselves. That's our theme next week. So come back, see what it'll be like. And later, y'all. Bye.
Bye.